my quote unquote San Diego Chargers. I'm still working on using all of my fortune from sports betting and touting. That's why we have to do both. Because how am I going to buy the Chargers if I'm just betting and move them back to San Diego? Tonight's a big night here for the Chargers. I think this spread. I had this typed in from a few days ago, so let me update that because I know we're. I'm pretty sure we're at least down to two, aren't we? If not 1.5 at some spots at this point. Yeah, 1.5, and maybe the Cowboys are juiced up here a little bit. So, but I'm going to change it to 1.5. That gives you any clue where I'm going with my free play here on the show. My show play. It's not free. It's you have to invest your time here with me. Yeah, doubles not liking the old no fun league. Can't use a prop. All right, the Chargers tonight against the Cowboys. 1.5 total here, 51. It definitely opened 47.5 on a look ahead, but I think just the way that, you know, Herbert, the Chargers are still, they're averaging, 400 yards a game, 28 points. So they've got a great offense. And people, hot and cold on Brandon Staley. It seems like, well, I don't know. I think people are more cold than hot, but I have questions about game management, right? With Brandon, why yeah, the Chargers have some good defensive players, so why are we getting into why do we end up in sometimes the I say we I'm talking I sound like some of the some of the guys around, but why are the Chargers ending up in some of these wild games here with things going, kind of back and forth and uh, well, because they're suspect and maybe they're not, you know, clock management right when they're getting close, when they're getting some leads, and yeah, when you're, chucking the ball like it's circa 1978 for the Chargers, and you're going to leave your defense on the field maybe too long sometimes, and that can be a problem as well. Dallas, they've had three very impressive wins, but they've also had a couple of games where they didn't look too great offensively in those two losses, and they did give up some rushing yards in those two games. And the big news in this game certainly would be the return of the Chargers do everything back, Austin Eckler. It does seem like this guy's a big difference maker. Yeah, they can get by without him to a certain extent because you have a guy like Herbert. But when you have Eckler, it's not some flash in the pan. This guy continues to have, uh, whenever he's in, strong performances. He misses a lot of games. All right, here comes some picks already. Steven says he's taking the Chargers and under, and he's surprised the Chargers are not favored. Yeah, well, yeah, and we're looking kind of close to at least a pick 'em here, right? With a Dallas team that's favored here. I think it's just that Dallas has been so impressive in those wins. I mean, if you add them all up, the three wins are combined 108-13 in those victories, and the Chargers, you know, like I said, they're averaging massive points. Their point totals on the log at 34, 24, 28, 24. But what is the problem with this team on third down? I mean, there's my concern. Under 51 for Cincinnati, under on one more game, right? And that's what I was saying on one of the show. I don't want my picks to be boring, but I do want them to win. So I hope for, and I'm so thankful too. I don't know if I've seen any subscribers. None of you guys ever say it, and I know it's hard to, sometimes you don't want to admit you're buying picks too. But just thank you sincerely, especially, you know, with the I'm seeing some really strong sales of late on here. Just talking about it honestly. And oh, let me see here. Can't believe he's backing the Cowboys. Blake is going to be on the Cowboys. Thomas is on the over. Hello to Thomas today. My number one guy, T. Lewis. So just for me, I think, with Eckler back, it just makes to me a big deal for the Chargers. I mean, to me, it is kind of the difference maker in the game. Um, there's a lot of reason to think, right? I know what you're saying. That you're maybe surprised the Chargers aren't favorite. I don't know. I think Bosa will be in there. That's always key. I mean, he is questionable tonight, and he is kind of a difference maker to a certain extent. Where you were on, and the Chargers do have some other key injuries. Certainly, Palmer questionable with a groin injury. Derwin James continues to be out right now, and for the Cowboys, we know they have some, two big injuries right now. Of course, Diggs, but also now, Van Der Esch has gone to the injured list with a neck injury, and hopefully, hoping for him to be okay. And you always worry about but we saw the injury, right? It could just probably a sprain, but uh, those are two key injuries. So, and not to mention, Goodwin also out, but out for the season now. So I'm going to be on the Chargers here. You got my Chargers. Stevens giving you Eckler over 48 rushing yards. Let me see if I can at least give out my prop players here. Hey, if it was a standalone game, I'm ready to come in with some props, but I don't want to weigh down on such an attractive card here today. And, you know, I'm going to be on premiums in both baseball games and also the football game, and probably a little bit of hockey. Maybe just a couple of them, though. I do like this hockey card. I think we're going to tear it up. All right. A few more notes here, just with the Chargers and the Cowboys, kind of fill my commitment here with the show. Uh, Chargers always good in these non-conference games. 8-4, well, 8-4-3 ATS. How do you get three pushes in there like that? Chargers 13 touchdowns on 41 drives, but they've allowed 12 touchdowns on 42 drives. And mention the defense for the Chargers. When they win, they've been holding teams pretty strong on key plays, and uh, I think against a team like Dallas, I don't know. I appreciate you guys, and look, the totals, like I said, it's gone up. There's no doubt. It opened. The look ahead was 47.5. Yeah, Chargers seem to give it up. They seem to, you know, be the one team that kind of gets involved in these shootouts a little bit. Ferner says he's got Dak for an INT tonight, and so does Steven. Interesting that those guys came up with the same prop right at the same time, and Dak to get the INT. So, all right, big game also for Kellen Moore might be a little bit of a storyline. Coaches don't get a lot of the spotlight when on the previews and anything, but obviously the Cowboys fired Kellen Moore. We know the Cowboys have, you know, not a great, good. They have Dak, they have weapons, they have good offense, but we know why Moore was kind of, the frustration maybe that uh, jury had last year, and now on the Chargers here. So, all right, Dallas 9-1 against the spread off of a loss in their last 10 games, but I'm gonna be on the Chargers tonight. Probably be. And here's the thing. I think for me, Live betting preview if you want. Steven says Prescott over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Hey, Demetrius Crandall, nice to see you as well. Well, how have you been? He says Chargers first half, Dallas for the game. And here I would almost like sometimes I kind of even, I don't want to lose any viewers or say, and like I would say, Demetrius, that's awful. Why would anybody ever do that? That's a tough handicap. If anything, maybe there'd be a prop in there, right, where you should get credit when you do something like that. But in this case, with the Chargers, I have no problem at least even making that type of prediction. In fact, I would say that this might be a great game for live betting where, you know, like I said, a lot of money is earned away from premium picks to a certain extent, right? You got to do your own mixing it up. And it feels like in this game, you're just going to, whoever's winning at halftime, you want to go the other way in the second half. And especially if one team gets a big lead in this game, you're going to want to get on the other team at a price and watch them come back because that's the Chargers. It does start with the letter CH a little bit, and I've been living it with it my whole life. Stephen Beer says, "Let's get charging," and of course, what the kind of saying is in Charger land, and even nationally they kind of say it. And there are other teams that have this stupid little saying, but like, and I'm sure that Doubles can appreciate it, and Scotch when he's here. Chargers, Cubs gonna cub, Chargers gonna charge, right? When the choking time comes, that's Charger time. So, but Herbert, he's clutch, right? Hello to Darren, great to see you today. But honestly, right, you think of all the quarterbacks in this league, even the top quarterbacks right now in the game, uh, with Mahomes, you're going to take him, right? You need a drive. You are standing at your own 10, 20-yard line with a minute to go in the game. There aren't many quarterbacks. Yeah, there are. And even some of these good quarterbacks that we talk about nowadays, right? They're good quarterbacks, but you know what? They might not be the guy you want you need to go down the field in 1 minute. Justin Herbert is a guy that you want in that role. Right? Even look, you'll take Jalen Hurts, of course, but if you said I need to get down the field in 30 seconds, you'd take Justin Herbert over like a over like a Jalen Hurts, right? Probably not over Mahomes, but you probably, given the ability, you'd probably just have him right there, almost 50-50. The Chargers have a superstar, one of the most unheralded superstars in their quarterback, in Justin Herbert. Maybe the most overlooked star in the league, really. And so maybe a chance to shine tonight against a popular team. That's my play is on my Chargers. You know what's funny? You mentioned I don't. Who said it again? The Chargers should be favored. You know what? If the Chargers are favored, I might be on the Cowboys in this one. Actually, that's the way the Chargers are. So give me the Chargers tonight. Yeah, I don't know doubles. I'm not saying like Cubs gonna cub like that. If that's what you're saying, but I'm just saying when the Cubs moments, right? Um, what other team? They say, "Oh, Cubs gonna cub," when the Cubs eventually let you down. And they say, "Oh, Cubs gonna cub," and that's what they are saying. Like the national media says, Chargers gonna charge when they blow that lead with some stupid play with 20 seconds left and the other team's running into the end zone on some bizarre play or massive comeback. I am taking my Chargers tonight, and I am not the homer guy. I probably look. We did it with my other team all season long. We faded the Padres, and there are plenty of spots to fade this Charger team. I believe I'm going to wrap it up here, but I've got to get at least a few complaints out about the Spanoses and the direction of the team always. I mean, there's just no way this team will ever get anything done. They'll find a way to lose. Not tonight. I'm taking them, and probably just because they're a dogs. They got Justin Herbert. They've got the talented receivers, and they've got Austin Eckler. It's all can work out. Darren says, I don't need to be Darren, so I think tonight I don't need to be. I've got Justin Herbert. And if it comes down to the end, we might need to go the length of the field. We might need that field goal tonight in this one. But I've got Justin Herbert. That's mostly what I think I'm confident in. No, because I'm never I'm never comfortable right now with the defense. And certainly having Bosa on that injured list tonight, that is probably my top concern. I think he is a player that you do want and need to have in there. You need an impact defensive player that can make the big play at the key moment. I mean, look how bad the Raiders are, but they still have, Max Crosby's made the two biggest plays over the last couple of games, right? You still need that one guy. Amazing defensive players can be such big impact players sometimes. The Chargers have one in Joey Bosa, no doubt about it. But yeah, they've got all kinds of other issues. So, but Cowboys would need, they're going to need balance and all that. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the game tonight. I want to get to the ice and talk a little bit of hockey on this card here, 5-game card. One little bit more football here. Darren, I think maybe the number just too high for it. And don't, I'm trying to make these as fast as possible, but I want to talk to you guys and get all that information out. Look, no one needs to tell me, right, Darren, about to these unders. I mean, no doubt. Who leads the under parade, week after week? I'm in here representing Team Under every day, every night, and it's not fun to just blindly bet the under. But right now, look at the NFL right now. You could do worse. You'd be hitting 60% if you just hit the under button every time. You wouldn't need to even handicap a game. You could just sit there and max play the under. We sit here and bang our head every week. Right now, 60% under. Don't in primetime unders, no doubt. And we saw it again. Saw it again last night. Even when I tried to go over, totally, misreading the game there a little bit with what the Giants needed to do, and maybe it could have spiraled out of control, and the Buffalo Bills could have went off on them, but they didn't. The Giants did a great job. And I thought Ty God was going to be the best solution for him, right? Ty God didn't make the mistakes. Yeah, he made one big mistake, no doubt about it. But that comes with, I think with Ty not playing that much of late, right? I mean, he totally flubbed that situation up at the end of the first half. There's no doubt. And your coach is going to be mad at you. But he's going to tell you he's proud of you, too, at the end when you won, when you played well in that game. I take it, Bills still got the win, but, is Taylor any worse than Daniel Jones? I don't know. All right. Chargers it is. Let's move on. But primetime unders, don't forget, Monday night unders, all that. It's still in total effect. So far, Monday night games, 1-6 to the under. The average score is 35.8 points. You got the Chargers and the Cowboys, though, here tonight. Chargers they're gonna give up, they're gonna give up some stuff. It feels like to me, but again, totally inflated, no doubt about it. if you are looking for the value side is the under. I'm not saying, the pick is the under. The pick is the Chargers and all that. But and under is going to be a value side a lot of times, but this time it does look a little bit more significant. Anyways, prime time unders just absolutely destroying so far uh, this season right now. I think 6-13. I want to say, just going off the top of my head there, but it's at least 67. It's at least 6-12, if not 6-13 now for the season.